Hi, this is Charles from the Cognizant Digital HR team, and I'm here to talk about the usage of technology in HR and some of the trends that we will witness over the next 10 years in how we adopt technology into HR, right? This area is really going to see an explosion in the years to come because almost one third of the incremental spend that will happen in HR over the next couple of years will get invested into technology. And there are a couple of reasons why organizations are doing this. So this represents more than $100 billion opportunity over the next 10 years. And there are fairly strong reasons why this is happening. A couple of things being that HR systems have been driven towards managing workflow and employee data, and that's quickly moving to a need to derive analytics in terms of the decisions that are taken, right? So how do we actually use that data in terms of better decision making? The second aspect is really in terms of the overall culture of most organizations shifting to a more team-based and collaborative working style, and the need for HR tools to be agile, to be able to support agile teams, real on-time feedback, performance management, and the ability to also weave in social collaboration tools in the way performance management is done. So that's another strong area as increasingly work is getting collaborative and team-based in a lot of organizations, and we're shifting from the industrial age structure of a hierarchical top-down MBO kind of driven performance management system. The other aspect is really in terms of the whole shift towards learning and the shift towards making learning a part of the employee driven learning, as we call it. And there's a huge shift towards driving more content which is built on video and making it a lot more engaging and interesting, right? And the fourth aspect is also around the way we hire, moving from static application tracking systems to something which is building of artificial intelligence and cognitive systems to really assess and score candidates even before they're brought into an interview stage, right? So that's another strong driver for this investment in technology. And the other aspect is really in terms of looking at the simplicity and intuitiveness of the design of features, right? So a lot of the existing tools of the HCM, as we call it, has been built around looking at user being the HR department, and to shift to really making the design being built around the user being employees and managers, right? So that's also calling for a shift in terms of how the overall design and lay of the land is looking for a lot of the features. So combination of these is driving a huge focus and investment in these areas. And the last piece which I really want to allude to is around the contingent workforce, right? So if you look at employment by listed companies globally, that's actually only about maybe about 150 million people out of a global workforce of about 3 billion people in the world. But Uber or any of the other tools, there is a good chance that a lot more of the workforce will actually get associated with larger platform-based companies, and that's going to see almost 400 or 500 million people getting added as contingent workforce, or the gig workforce as people call it. And HR for that segment is going to be entirely digital. There's going to be no physical component in terms of how you recruit, how you train, how you reward, how you kind of like incentivize. The entire piece is going to be running on digital, right? And that's a huge opportunity. If you look at just Uber as an example, where like, it's a platform where 1.5 million drivers globally are each of them are spending almost $5,000 and contributing to Uber's revenues, right? And even if you kind of like go with $1,000 revenue contribution of each contingent workforce to the platform company, and we're talking of like a 200 million or a 300 million workforce coming in as the gig workforce, as we call it, over the next 10 years. That's a phenomenal opportunity to tap into as well. So that's broadly what I wanted to kind of talk about in terms of the trend and the area and the space that I'm looking at researching, and we'll get into more details as we go along, right? Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening to me. Thank you.